another inspiring episode of True Athletes. I'm your host, John Pace, and today we're diving into the incredible journey of Marie Pontini, the unstoppable force who shattered barriers in the women's wheelchair bodybuilding division at the Arnold Amateur Competition. Get ready to be inspired as we explore Marie's journey of resilience, determination, and unwavering passion. This is True Athletes, the podcast where we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of athletes who redefine what is possible. And we get right in.
That's wild. I can't believe that you rode the bus. I don't think I would have been brave enough to ride the bus myself.
Well, honestly, that's part of the reason, like for Idaho, it's 30, besides the stop, if I would do it straight, it's 37 or 38 hours. So I'm like, man, nah.
So like, what about just on the bus? Like, what about accommodations? Like, I'm not, I know that you use the wheelchair for mobility, but are you able to get to like the restroom on the bus, or how do you get off and on the bus and all that?
Because of all the possible challenges, of course, there's always diapers and the underpad on the wheelchair, and the waterproof cover seat, everything like that, just because you never know if the bathroom will work. When they do stop, I could ask to get off, but it's always a problem just to get on. So I never get off. But also in between the stops, there's often like 12 hours. So even if you'd like to go out, you won't, But yeah, you have to be able to transfer and make your way in some ways to the bathroom. So for me, I hold on the seats. Basically, I kind of walk holding one seat after the other one, holding myself like this. But a regular person who doesn't do bodybuilding, it would be very hard. Or they could ramp on the floor, I guess, but the floor is already so dirty that,
Right. I think I've seen where on airplanes, wheelchair users have sort of scooted to the bathroom on their tail, just trying to make it or what have you.
Yeah.
It doesn't look fun. So I hadn't taken a bus, and I hadn't flown since I've been, a wheelchair user. But I don't know. I'm going to have to get brave about it because everybody else flies around. So.
Yeah, well, like for Las Vegas, for the Olympia, I checked for it, but then it was like 78 hours straight, without counting any stops. So then my friend was like, well, maybe you can do it like 2 trips. So basically you go anywhere else in between, that you make it a trip, you stay there for 2 days, and then you make another trip. But kind of happy that there is no Olympia for me right now.
Right, for sure.
But no, maybe I have a folding power wheelchair. And I know that usually by plane, they don't break those. That would be a possibility. It's just that once you get on place, it's not adapted to your needs. It's not adapted to anything for you. For the routine as well, if you're used to do your routine in some ways with one wheelchair, just changing to another wheelchair becomes like a completely different headache. But I think that would become like the alternative, and then I would fly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah.
You would find a way.
Yeah. Lots of people do. Like lots of people fly. So I don't know. But they always have. I think that like Nick on his way out to Columbus, they cut his wheelchair tire somehow or something. So he was showing that he had spare everything and all this. So
yeah. I
guess,
do the same. I always have my full toolkit and everything kit in case of everything on the wheelchair. But he travels a lot, and I know that he faces a lot of challenges like that, like being abandoned at the airport, and they lost a wheelchair, and like that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about like what you have going on. So would you care to explain like why are you a wheelchair user? Because we know that I know that you don't have a spinal cord injury.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so I have 2 degenerative illness. So the first one is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobile type. So that's a mutation in the collagen and collagen deficiency. So in the end, it's all the connective tissue that are not normal. So my blood vessel explodes easily. I'm hyperflexible. There's dislocation as soon as I stand or try to lift or try to do anything, basically. It just owning, I can dislocate my jaw, like, or, it affects the whole body, from my digestive system that doesn't work. You're losing your hair, blood vessel that explodes. I think I said it. It's everything is affected by that. This one is degenerating pretty quickly in the last 2-3 years. But of course, you're born with it, but it's just that depending when we get around 30, usually it's there when things get to their end.
Right.
So for this one, the most problem is with the digestive system right now, because I have a lot of condition related to that, but the main thing right now is with digestive system. I have digestive system paralysis, so it doesn't work at all. So we cannot bypass it with the feeding tube or anything like that. I have been on parenteral nutrition for the last 2 years. No, sorry, elemental nutrition. The elemental nutrition is like a medication, basically, like a formula that you take that contains kind of everything that you need if you're able to take it. But I'm not able to take the dose that I'm supposed to. And if I would, I would need to be plugged nonstop. So I think 1/6 when I was on it, I was taking 1/6 of what I was supposed to take per day. It's 13 grams of proteins. You barely survive on that. So from there, the last 2 years, I saw my muscle mass disappearing, basically.
Right.
And it got worse, of course. So in 2021, we did the same thing, and it kind of worked. We did a water fasting, medical water fasting. So that means just water. 2021, we did 60 days, and I was kind of able to reintroduce the elemental nutrition afterwards, but so. When I train, I make myself sick and I end up in hospital, but my way to cheat is I go with breast protein puree. So basically just breast
Like,
chicken breast puree.
right.
So I just boil it and then make a puree with water. That's it, so just chicken breast. But I have problems to digest it, but that way at least I get some proteins, But that's the thing that happened. I had a surgery in the summer, August, and my surgeon insisted a lot that I increase my proteins, and I wanted to train for the competition.
Sure.
And I tried to take, and I fucked up my whole system even worse than before. So from November 8th, I've been on water, just
wow.
water.
And this all you're having is water, huh? And the supplement.
That's all I can take. It's been very hard.
Yeah.
You're after 10 days, you're not hungry. That's something, and you have more energy because, like, for me, digesting takes a lot of energy because my body is not able to digest anything. So it makes me very, very tired. So that was like a good side of it, that at least I had a little bit more energy. But after, let's say, a month, the energy is decreasing. And I was supposed to have my surgery for the parenteral nutrition at the very beginning of January, like first patient in January. That would have made 60 days. And with COVID and everything, there was a lot of delays in Montreal, in Quebec, in province. So it got delayed, and then it was supposed to be on the 26th of March, the day that I was leaving for the competition. 26th of February.
Wow.
So I asked them, please, pretty please, can you please postpone it to March? And now I just got informed that it was even more postponed. So it's going to go for April 15. So yeah, so I had to go through the whole prep with water. The other supplement that I take that I don't really digest, but come on, I wanna be able to train. It was a taurine powder, pure powder, L-tyrosine. The tyrosine helps me for the brain fogs. I have a lot of brain fog, and erytheros, which is kind of a ginseng, Siberian ginseng, sometimes they call it.
Okay.
So it would help me for a little bit for the training, but since January I was not really training. My coach was like, "You go through the motion." Like it was more kind of warm-ups basically, because if I would train too much, I already lose my muscle mass. So if I train too much, I'm just gonna eat the muscles even more. So we kind of just keep it like that for the rest of the time that was left, Since the competition, I got those blood results because I get blood results every week. And the blood results were really, 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 really bad, which is part of the reason I was not well during the day before the competition. It was really horrible during the night. So I got at least 2 electrolytes IV infusion since the last week. It helped a lot. But it's not going well. So we're trying to extend it until April 15. But it's a month. It's another month. So we'll see. And from there, the hope is that the parenteral nutrition, it's going to be by vein, that it's going to work. I already know that there's like 2 or 3 formula that exist that they put by vein. And most of them use like soy oil and also anyway, they use 2 ingredients that I don't tolerate. So we're gonna try it, but I already know in advance that I don't tolerate it really well. Like I make I phalactic, like shock. Phalactic shock. Anyway, so I react really aggressively to those things. So anyway, so that's Ehlers-Danlos. With that, I have multiple sclerosis. I have an aggressive form of multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed in 2016, and within a year, things went very degenerated really, really quickly. So I went from being, I was obese my whole life, but I was walking and I was still in shape. Business owner, I was director, and within a few months, I had to stop working. Most of my lesions, with multiple sclerosis, it's the body attack itself, and it makes lesions in the central nervous system. And so the brain stopped connecting with the body. So most of my lesions are in the cognitive part of the brain. So it's very rare that it's that much. I'm like less than 10% of the MS population have that. So for me, it affects me a lot cognitively. So I do have all the other symptoms from the pain, the chronic pain, neuropathic pain. But all those symptoms becomes like a small deal compared to the cognitive part. Because what I have most, it's executive dysfunction. So that means I cannot figure the steps to do a task. So if I want to eat, I'm not able to figure what do I have to do to eat or to wash myself, like let's say open the water and take the soap and put the soap on your body, like that kind of step. So I need home care services to help me do it. So basically to do everything.
Wow. You've got you got a hell of a spirit about you, because we hung out a little bit over the course of the Arnold weekend there. And
hard.
I never would have thought that you had all this going on because you are in such a bright mood.
It was really hard because it needs a lot of organization. And organization, as soon as I I think organization, I lose my brain. I get brain fogs. But when I get brain fogs, I become like a zombie. You know, I'm out. I'm just out. I have speech impairment. So
Mhm.
as soon as I'm stressed or that I'm in pain or that I'm tired, I lose the ability to talk.
Mm.
Yeah, so competitions are always very, very hard. And this time, because the past competitions showed me very bad stuff, but this time I had my coach that was supposed to be on stage because I hear a word, but I cannot translate what the word means, you know, like in my brain. So you can tell me to do one thing and I don't know what that means, or the same thing if I would read it, but I forget about reading, it's even worse, you know, but if I would read, uh, I wouldn't be able to understand. Like my brain also doesn't, like they thought I had vision problems or hearing problems. I do have hearing problems and vision problems, but mainly it's the brain that is not able to analyze what it sees or what it hears.
Mm.
So to process it anyway. So yeah, so my coach was supposed to be on stage, and then last minute they said the judge must not see him, so he's going to be on the side. But then I was supposed to be able to see him.
Mhm.
And then at the moment to step on the stage, so like Nick didn't know and Gary, the promoter, didn't know about that. It was really last minute. At the moment that I went on stage, they told him, no, you're going to stay in the back.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
and they changed 3 times the order of what we were supposed to do. You know, like we had a 30-second routine, the mandatory poses,
Mhm.
and then the evening routine. And yeah, so they changed it 3 times. So already there, like for me, it's really hard to just have a small change.
Sure.
Also, the night before the competition at the checking, I was not supposed to do the mandatory poses because I cannot do them
Right.
physically.
Mhm.
Um, and apparently, I take it on me because it's really possible. I misunderstood that I would have to do them.
Mhm.
So then Nick explained to me, but I was already out, so I just filmed him telling me what I would need to do, what are the poses. And
Wow.
then my coach watched the movie, the video, and told me,
Mhm.
but I never practiced those poses ever, 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 because I cannot do them. So the night before, I had to learn it. Um, yeah. So by doing the poses, it gave me the points and it made it a real competition. If I
Right.
would, what I was supposed to do at the beginning is a choreography that I do, the
Mhm.
same one that I do since 2018 every single day, because I cannot learn anymore. So I do the same thing. And even though I forget start parts, but yeah, so I was supposed to do that. And next to Charla, next
Mhm.
to her doing the real poses. But then it's not a real competition. It cannot be a real comparison. So for the division, it wouldn't count, but
Mhm.
also for her and for myself too, you know? So I was going there knowing I wouldn't win, but the fact that misunderstanding, kind of, the fact that I did the poses allowed it to be a real competition and allowed it to make it official even for myself. So somehow it was a good thing, but I still have problems and pain that I cannot do stuff because I did those poses.
Well, I
um,
great. Like, this was the first year that there was more female competitors than male
yeah,
competitors.
yeah, we
Uh,
did it story.
and just to be honest with you, like you're through everything that you are going through on a daily basis, and then coming out and competing at the Arnold Amateur, which is this expo is the second largest expo in the whole world. So that's
I
just really
know.
tough. Um, so I know that you've done a few shows now, and here lately I've seen a few posts from you that it's showing like your when you were up and walking around, you had some weight on you, let's just say.
Yeah, I was 310 pounds. Yeah, I know. I've lost 160, well, more than 165, but within the year that my digestive system stopped,
Yeah.
I've lost 165. So I weigh less than what I've lost. Anyway, yeah.
Wow. I mean, most people, you know, like, except for the whole damn thing that you have all this stuff going on, that's great news, except for that, you know, like,
Yeah.
people wish they could lose weight like that, really, you know.
Yeah. But that's the funny part. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, good job." Now I don't comment on the internet because it's too complicated. And I know they don't read the post, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I was really healthy before, even though I was obese, and I was training a little bit, but I was training. I was really strong. And I've lost that weight that now I'm not healthy, and I maybe, well, on parenteral nutrition, to be very honest, the life expectancy is not really long,
right.
like 6 to 12 months. So that's why we were trying to postpone it for so long, trying that I don't have to go there. But we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, so I was really healthy before, and now it's like, dude, I'm empty. I have no immune system since 2019. And usually, like, I used to take MS immunosuppressant, so the body doesn't attack itself. And so my neurologist thought, okay, we're gonna stop it because it's getting worse. And we hoped that they would get better, but it just kept getting worse, and it keeps getting worse. So now I'm completely at zero. So honestly, going to the Arnold with other people, taking off my mask, it was a huge risk, but it was a lifetime thing. But yeah, it was a huge risk because I'm supposed to be like fully protected. I'm always in isolation at home. I go to the gym at 2 a.m. because there's nobody, you know. So I spent my whole life basically alone. So it was a big risk, but yeah, again, it was, you know, it was a lifetime opportunity. So I really wanted to do it, and I'm glad I did.
After the whole thing, like, you know, tell us about your experience. You know, like, just basically, you know, what are your feelings after it's all said and done?
It was amazing. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. I don't know where to start. Honestly, you know, like all those challenges happened before the competition. So like getting there, first of all, but also the changes in the routine, and then the changes of the posing. And the night before I had bleeding, GI bleeding, so gastrointestinal bleeding. I was extremely sick, vomiting the whole night. I was really, really bloated because of the imbalance of electrolytes, and my belly was distended a lot. And honestly, very like it's. I know I'm not someone who talks about religion, even though I have a strong faith, but I never talk about it, my spirituality. But anyway, I never pray to ask for something. I always pray because I'm grateful for my life, because of the beauty of my life, you know, and everything. And that time it was like, you know what? Just let me do it for the stage. That's all I'm asking. Because I was really afraid that I had to go to the hospital because the way that it was getting worse. And it's in the state, and it's really expensive for us. So it's like, no. And so I didn't sleep the whole night, but I kind of fell asleep a little bit on the toilet in the bathroom. So when 4 a.m. came, it was time to get ready. You know, that first thing it was funny is that I checked in the mirror and I was like, girl, wake the fuck up. You're about to do the Arnold. So, you know, like, and the fact that I was not supposed to do those posing, and then I understood that I would have to, I took it like a warrior mode, and it was like, you know what? I didn't come here to win, but now I'm here to win, baby. Okay, so I'm here. Sorry about it. Anyway, so that was the mentality when 4 a.m. came, and you know, like the whole night I was in my kind of pajama, like a sweater, I think in English, you know, like anyway, the big sweater, yeah, you know, like, so I couldn't see my body much after, you know, during the night when I was in the bathroom. And yeah, so I have no way to explain it, but 2 hours later, my skin was tight. I was not bloated. There was no belly distension. I had no cramps. My cramps, it's something that is constant, that is daily. There was nothing. And it stayed like that for 2 days. Like
Yeah.
even the next day, I was perfectly fine. I was like, what the fuck is happening? So when things went bad, it went bad on the Saturday, but I had the Thursday and Friday perfectly okay. I have no way to explain it. Like it never in my whole life never happened like this, ever.
I'm really glad
So
that you got
it's a miracle, but whatever you want to explain it, you know, I don't know. So there was that. Also, I cannot lift weights with MS. Well, because of Ehlers-Danlos, my body parts separate. So I had to have 2 surgeries for my hands because they separated from my arm. So that's the first thing. And then my elbow, I started to separate it. And so my surgeon is like, you can no longer lift. So this has been a year and a half. So I had to learn different alternative, and I developed a mind-body connection. Basically, like when people practice their posing, but then I'm gonna focus a lot with the mirrors and focus to talk to the muscle, and then do the movement while everything is contracted to the maximum. I don't build muscles as quickly as someone that would lift, but it still works, you know. So when I do that, it takes a lot of time and a lot of focus to be able to talk to my muscles.
Yeah.
And that morning, we were told we had 2 hours before getting on stage, and then 20 minutes later, we had to go on stage. So I was not warmed up, and technically, I wouldn't be able to talk to my muscles. Same thing happened in Toronto in June, so I kind of knew that it's the way it goes for competition. But anyway, that morning, I even told my coach, it was like, this is crazy. I could feel every muscle before warming up. Muscles that I never felt, like in my back, you know, like the triangle in the back. I can never talk to that part or even feel it. I could feel every muscle and talk to them. It was like, I felt like even in a trance, you know, like in a, I don't know what the word in English, but in a,
for sure.
yeah, completely surreal. That's for sure. Completely surreal. I remember telling my coach, like, no, but you don't get it. I feel everything, like everything, like the fuck. Anyway, so it was really amazing, and I got on stage, and it was good. Of course, because at the moment that I did the routine, when I turned, they were waiting for me to do a double bicep, front double bicep, and I forgot to do it. And then I didn't understood what they were waiting for, but they stopped talking, and then the music stopped, but they're still waiting. So then I looked for my coach, and I couldn't see my coach because I didn't know that they asked him to stay behind me.
Yeah.
So I freaked out a little bit, but I just waited with a big smile and didn't know what to do, you know, when I stayed there. So that was the first mistake. And then when we did the comparison, the mandatory posing, I understood that my coach was not there. He was supposed to be on stage next to me to tell me the position. So I focused on the lady that she was talking because, I thought when I left the stage, I even told my best friend, we never did the comparison, the poses that we were supposed to do. He skipped it. But I forgot. I didn't even realize. I was so focused and so out of there that I didn't remember doing it. It's only at night when I told my coach, like, but how come they didn't ask us to do it then? I was like, yeah, you did it. I did it? Anyway, so that was, but it went well. The only problem is that usually I turn on the wheelchair, and this time I turned the wheelchair completely. I was so focused. I was looking at Charla, what she was doing, so I kind of stayed in the, I turned, you know, and I didn't think that that's not what I usually do, but that's okay. We could still see my back. And yeah, at the end, you can see the video because I didn't understand what was going on. So Doc Wheeler explained to me that it's time for me to leave the stage. And then when he took, Charlotte took my hand, but it was to do like, like lifting our hands up. Yeah. And then I saw the video, like I take her hand and I'm like, I don't why she gave me the hand. Anyway, but like, well, at the same time, I'm like, well, it speaks volume and it shows what it is. And, like I'm not there and that's fine. And I just do the best out of it. But honestly, it was, yeah, so it was amazing. I didn't know how I really did. And I didn't watch the videos up a week after I was back.
Okay.
That's how afraid I was to watch it, honestly. But then there was a person at the gym and it was like, yo, you did well. So I was like, explain to him, like, I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't know. So he's like, no, watch it. You're going to see, you're going to be proud of you, So then I watched it. I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's good. That's good. But the weekend, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I was just going to ask, how many competitions have you done?
Okay, so in 2019, I did the first one. And then, I was supposed to. Sorry?
I said, where was your first competition?
Okay, it was in Niagara Falls with the Mindy Niagara Falls Pro Show.
Okay.
They put me as a guest poser because there was no other women, and I was also the first on stage ever. For Canada.
Oh.
After that, I was supposed to do 2 in 2020. They all got canceled.
Oh,
and then in 2021, I had a bunch of surgeries. So I was kind of skipped being the first Canadian woman. And I got really pissed about it because it was like, hey, I did the 2019 one. It's just, it wasn't recognized, but I was still the first one on stage. Anyway, it was a little, but yeah, so and then in 2023, I did radical body transformation in June. And then the same weekend, Toronto Pro Show as a guest poster because there was no other women.
Okay.
And then this one.
Okay.
But
Nice.
To be very honest, the reason I did the Arnold is because I saw my muscle mass getting worse. I saw my condition getting really worse.
Right.
More than months after months. I could almost say week after week, You look at a picture in October and then you look in January and it's like, damn, that hurts, man. That hurts. So I was like, well, while I still have something to bring on stage, I'll do it, whatever it is, I'm going to bring whatever is left. But when I got off the stage, I even told Nick, I was like, you know what? This is just a beginning, baby. I'm going to be back. Of course, the health is going to have to be better. It's going to have to get better. Yeah. I was really tempted to do the Idaho Nationals. And then the Toronto Pro Show, because I love the Toronto Pro Show. It's like family going there. I really love them. But yeah, my surgery is too tight with it. I won't be able to train or to eat or to do anything between. So it would be like pointless, a lot of expenses for nothing. So if things get better, it might be Arnold amateur, but 2025. Maybe.
Right.
That's the goal. If things go well.
Yeah. I'm going to end up missing the Idaho too. It's, Shannon's having the surgery. She's actually getting a hole in the head. and you hear the joke that people say, what is it? I need this like I need a hole in the head. Well, she actually does need a hole in the head for some nerve stuff or whatever. I'm not really sure. I've heard them talk about it. I'm in the room. I know what's going on, but at the end of the day, I don't know all the big words or terms. So all I know is they're gonna go in back here and do something with her nerves because she has like a lot of nerve pain and stuff going on.
Yeah, to desensitize it. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's coming up in just a few weeks. So she won't be, they're like an 8-week recovery on that. So. that'd be too close, really, and I want to make sure that I'm here for that. You know, prep is pretty hard. That's difficult stuff. So,
Yeah.
and then like,
She's training hard, but she's in good shape, so I think she might be able to do a really good job. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, I think
Mm.
that she'll be all right. You know, at the end of the day, the doctor says that it basically is a life changing operation for somebody who has like those kind of pains. So that's
Yeah.
great. You know, we'll see. Fingers crossed, and by grace of God, we'll see what happens. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. But the experience was, it was amazing. I mean, the rest of the weekend, being introduced to everybody
Right.
and all the pros, the guys,
Right.
um, being treated like every event like a VIP, and
There's
it
the
was
belt.
surreal. It was completely surreal. You know, like I got to the meet and greet, and then people come to see me
Right.
while you get to see the pro, and they come to see me and they ask me to sign their belt or to give them autograph, and I'm like, is this a joke? I even remember looking at Arnold like, that's a joke or something. Like, where's the camera?
Right.
You know, like it felt like, come on, man. But anyway, that was really cool. That was amazing. The gala, being able to witness the stage, like being next to the stage, you know, the whole time, and
Quite the arena.
it was amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Quite-
And yeah, it was a really nice week. And the Sunday I had nothing to do, but I was not able to go outside
Mhm.
from the Monday that I left. So
Okay.
the whole week I have been inside, you know, like the bus, and then boom, the hotel. And
Mm.
so even though there was some nice days, you could see the sun and everything, and it's like, oh, apparently it's 19 degrees outside. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. So
Right.
anyway, the Sunday, I was really, really happy because it was 21 degrees, and I was able to ride. They have like a waterfront path that you
Okay.
can ride on it, let's say.
Yeah.
So to do the whole thing, it was beautiful, take a lot of pictures. So it was really perfect week. And then to come back, it
Mhm.
was a big hell to come back, but I made
Right.
it.
Hey, was it 35 hours, you said? 35 hours to get.
Yeah, but very honestly, the beginning was extremely traumatizing with the bus driver that well, other passengers said he was under alcohol, but
Mm.
the way that he was extremely aggressive, for me, it was obvious that he was under something, like
Right.
drugs or something. But it was really, you know, like the stop for the bus where we got in, it was at University,
Mhm.
Columbus, and they called the cops on him
Oh,
so
dang.
much. He was dangerous and aggressive. And he started being against them after that. So it was really fucked up, and they put me in a different bus. But at first they told me like, we're gonna call you back and tell you when we can put you in a different bus. No, you're not gonna abandon me on the corner of the street just like
Oh,
that. Are you serious right now? No, you won't. Anyway, so but they put me in another bus that went to another station. But that station was the Columbus bus station. And
yeah.
those guys on the way in, they
Uh-huh.
were amazing. They were so cool and so amazing, you know? So I got to spend like 3 hours over there
Uh-huh.
waiting for another bus that would take me.
Right.
But I was with them, and that was really, really cool because
I
they
guess
knew I was going for the competition. So now they were like, hey, I won the competition and everything, you know? So in the end, I had a good moment, and
that's
it
good.
just was really, 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 really long. Yeah. But
Right.
it went well.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so, you know, at the end of the day, like, what sort of legacy would you like to leave in, say, wheelchair bodybuilding and advocacy for people who have to use wheelchairs for mobility?
I'm very passionate about the division, honestly. And I'm very glad. I'm very, very glad that I was able to have those deep connection, but conversation with the pros.
Mm.
Because I had some exchanges on messages, but it was not clear, and a lot of people talking for other people, but that's not necessarily what they want, that what they meant. So with them, I could really like be clear and see what's their point of view. So because I know that a lot of talking was said about the fact that ambulatory wheelchair users were bringing a different, like a lower, well, if you have a chronic illness, most of the time it's a lower level of what you can bring on stage than if you just just paralyzed. I mean, you have your strength, you have your energy, you can eat, you can take all
Right.
the supplements that others take, like you said, it's exactly the same. Um, on the point of view of people who are paralyzed, it's like, yeah, but you can stand. Yeah, but dude, you don't have the pain, and my body's attacking itself. It's like, in the end, we cannot compare it,
That's
So I do understand their point that when they become pro, having someone like me with no muscles getting on stage, it kind of lowered the credibility or of the division a little bit,
mm,
and as pro they may lose opportunities, or they may lose the way they are seen, basically, as an equal as any other bodybuilders. So that I completely agree and understand. So for me, speaking with Nick and everything, um, the goal would be to develop the division as much as possible, to have more and more and more and more competitors. So that once we have all those people, then we can start to divide the division and make it more appropriate depending what you have, what type of injury you have, or the reason why you're using a wheelchair. Of
sure.
course, with chronic illnesses, it becomes really complicated to judge. And most of the time, it cannot really be comparison. It becomes more personal achievement. So I'm not even sure it could be in the same division eventually once it separates, because the divisions with IFBB, it's really specific. If you're in that division, these are the criteria, and it's really specific. If you're bikini, this is bikini. That's it.
Right.
So, I do understand also the spirit and the idea behind it. So I agree with that. So if it might be a need to be a different league or a different division, but then it could be at least somewhere that we can, for people with chronic illnesses, that we can have a recognition for what we do, because the effort may be 1,000 times of what someone regular does, that we deal with. And going to, like, if I go to train, this is a sacrifice for the whole day. And if I train a little bit too much, this is 3 days in the bed that I cannot do anything. So when I go train, the rest of my day, I'm out cognitively and physically. I can do nothing. So I have to, it's a lot of sacrifice, basically. So it's great to feel that these things are recognized. And at the same time, people who can achieve a body to the point like the pros that we have right now, then they can be recognized to their level as well. So what we want, what we need is more competitors. Whatever is your situation, why you're using a wheelchair, you just need to use the wheelchair 90% of the time, fit the criteria for the WCBB, and then welcome in. We don't care what you look like. We don't care whatever. Come in, and we can help you train. We can help you build the stuff, build the program, know the positions, know everything that you need to know. You don't need to be an athlete, or you can be an athlete from another sport and be like, oh, well, why not? Yeah, why not? Come on in, So
Right.
this way we can build it, we can build a name, and eventually make it big enough so that we can separate it. Because there's so many people that are wheelchair users and they want to train, or they do train, but most of the time they want to train, but they don't know where to start. I know in the States, there's so many places they can even refuse them to enter in a gym, so it's to bring up this awareness and then make it possible for everybody, basically. But
That's right. That's
and
the whole.
then with the possibility to separate the division and make it more appropriate to the personal achievements or what is achieved, basically, so that would be like a dream. So right now I would really like to develop the female part of the division.
Right. Pros, right?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's the whole division that needs to get bigger and get bigger, and
Right.
people need to compete. It's good that you part of it. It's good that you interested in it. Yeah, compete. Come compete. Come on the stage. Show up, and then when the promoters see that we show up, that's when they start to consider us. But if
Right.
they start to organize something for us and then nobody shows up, come on,
Right.
man.
Right.
We can't count on you guys, you know? So, yeah.
All right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that
Appreciate
would
you.
be that would be something I would really like. Because I believe in it a lot, you know, and I really like the division. I like everything that everybody brings. I mean, I see also in UK what is done, let's say with the PCA. It's another
Right.
league that is not official as well, but still, you know, like they have a kind of a adaptive division.
Right.
So it would
Right.
be, you know, like there's a lot of people that with concerns when you think about the fact that it's what 25%, well, depending the country, but between 20 to 25% of people who have a handicap. It's like,
Mhm.
come on, man, we are the majority. We're not the minority that much. We are a big majority. So
Sure.
we deserve a place. We need a place. And there is a place Nick built since so many years. So now it's up to us to use that place and make things happen and be there. Yeah.
Perfect. Couldn't have
Yeah.
said it. Well, so I appreciate you talking with me today. You know, I we'll have to get back together and talk again soon, though, for real, because it's going to be, you know, like we're interested in you know where you're going next too, you know, because you have this new surgery coming up and everything, so we'll be keeping in touch there.
Yeah. If we talk again,
Mhm.
I forgot to tell you at the beginning, but when I start talking, I don't really stop. So you have to stop me or to bring me back to whatever was the question. So
Right.
I apologize for that.
No worries.
But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I appreciate. Thank you for having me. I appreciate a lot. And
for
it was such a pleasure to get to know you personally, get to know your wife, and I loved meeting the people of the whole division. It was amazing. Yeah, thank you, and yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I guess we'll talk to you next time.
Good. All right, John. Well, thank you very much. You have a great day and you take care too. And I'm looking forward to see you on stage again. Bro, really soon.
Soon. All right, bye now.
Hey,
Bye.
Rolling to Win fam. Your support means the world. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and spread some positivity in the comments for these amazing athletes. Remember, keep those wheels turning and keep believing.